Taehyung couldn't forget him. The stranger with midnight eyes and the voice like a whisper in the dark. The one who had saved him, then disappeared as if he were nothing more than a ghost. He had tried to convince himself it was just a dream, that the way the man had moved, faster than humanly possible, was a trick of the shadows. But the truth was etched into his memory. The way he had killed that thing. The way he had looked at Taehyung, like he was something precious, something dangerous. Days passed, but the encounter haunted him. He found himself scanning the streets at night, hoping, no, dreading he might see him again. And he wasn't the only one struggling. Jungkook should have left it alone. He should have walked away that night and never looked back. But Taehyung's scent was imprinted in his mind, a craving he couldn't escape. He had spent years controlling his thirst, mastering his hunger. Humans were fragile, easy to break. He had learned not to care. But Taehyung made him forget why. He told himself he was just watching, protecting the human from the shadows. But deep down, he knew the truth. He was drawn to him in a way he couldn't explain. And that was dangerous. One slip, one moment of weakness, and he would destroy him. Tonight, he sat perched on the rooftop above Taehyung's apartment, the hunger burning in his veins. He had fed recently, drained and unsuspecting. Stranger in a dark alley, but it wasn't enough. Because it wasn't him. Jungkook clenched his jaw. He needed to leave. Needed to. The window below slid open. Taehyung stepped out onto his small balcony, oblivious to the predator above. He leaned against the railing, exhaling into the night air. Jungkook stiffened. He could hear every heartbeat, every breath. The warmth of his skin called to him like a siren's song. Then Taehyung sighed and whispered, "Where are you?" Jungkook's entire world tilted. Did Taehyung want to see him again? His fingers curled into fists. He shouldn't go to him. He couldn't. But then, please. A single word. Soft. Barely audible. And it shattered Jungkook's resolve. He moved before he could stop himself, dropping soundlessly onto the balcony railing. Taehyung startled, eyes widening. Jungkook didn't speak, just stared. And Taehyung, against all logic, stepped closer. "You're real," he murmured. Jungkook smirked, tilting his head. Disappointed? No, Taehyung swallowed. What are you?" Jungkook exhaled sharply. "Humans and their questions. You already know." Taehyung did. He had seen the fangs. The impossible speed. The way Jungkook had killed so effortlessly. "You saved me," Taehyung said. Jungkook scoffed. "Don't thank me." "Why?" His eyes darkened. "Because I should have let you die." Taehyung froze. Jungkook took a step closer, their faces mere inches apart. "You're a fool, Taehyung." His voice was low, dangerous. "Walking alone at night. Calling out for something you don't understand. Do you have a death wish?" Taehyung swallowed, but he didn't back away. "If you wanted me dead, you would have killed me already." Jungkook's smirk faded. He hated how right that was. Taehyung's gaze flickered to Jungkook's lips, then his throat. He could see the tension in his jaw, the way he was breathing too slowly, too controlled. "You're hungry, aren't you?" Jungkook flinched. His pupils dilated, his fingers twitching at his sides. Taehyung should have been terrified. Instead, a reckless thought formed in his mind. "Do you drink from people?" Jungkook let out a sharp laugh. "Would you like to find out?" The air between them grew thick, charged with something neither of them could name. Taehyung should have run. But instead, he tilted his head slightly, exposing the soft skin of his throat. Jungkook growled. His hand shot out, gripping Taehyung's jaw. Not hard, but firm enough that Taehyung couldn't look away. "You don't know what you're doing," Jungkook warned, voice rough. Taehyung's pulse pounded against his palm. So tempting, so alive. Jungkook's thumb brushed over his bottom lip, lingering. His fangs ached, his body screaming for a taste. But he couldn't. If he did, he wouldn't be able to stop. With a sharp inhale, he released Taehyung, stepping back as if burned. "Stay away from me," Jungkook whispered. And then, in a blur of motion, he was gone, leaving Taehyung breathless, heart racing, and more intrigued than ever before.